Look at this building, 828 meters tall, 163 floors reaching into the sky. The Burj Khalifa, the tallest structure ever built by human hands. Now look at your house. Different scale, sure, but built with the same fundamental materials. Your office building, the road you drive on every day, the sidewalk beneath your feet, the phone in your hand right now. They all have something in common, something so obvious you've never thought about it, something so abundant we take it for granted. Sand. Not the sand from your childhood beach. This is different. This is construction sand. The angular, rough grains shaped by water over millions of years. The kind of sand that binds together. The kind that holds up civilization. And this sand is running out, disappearing from beaches, rivers, and ocean floors faster than you can imagine. And the fight for it is killing people. Right now, today, on every continent except Antarctica. This is the story of the world's second most consumed resource after water. A resource you've never worried about. A resource that's in almost everything you own. And this is the story of why blood is being spilled for it. This is blood sand. Here's what they don't teach you in school. Sand is everywhere, in deserts, on beaches, in riverbeds, under the ocean floor. But sand isn't just sand. It's not all the same, and it's definitely not all usable. Sand is in 90% of everything humans have ever built. Concrete is 75% sand. Every cubic meter requires about 1,400 kilograms of sand. Your house, your office, every bridge, every tunnel. 3/4 of all that material is just sand mixed with cement and water. Glass, melted sand, every window you look through, every bottle, every screen. The silicon chips in your computer? Sand. The fiber optic cables transmitting this video? Made from sand. The satellites orbiting above us? Built with components that require sand. Modern civilization is built on sand. Literally. Humanity uses 50 billion tons of sand and gravel every year. 50 billion tons. That's more than any other natural resource except water. That's enough to build a wall 27 meters high and 27 meters wide around the entire planet. Every single year. We use more than 6 tons of sand per person annually. Where does it all go? Into buildings, roads, land reclamation, glass, computer chips, solar panels. And here's something that will blow your mind. China used more concrete between 2011 and 2013 than the United States used in the entire 20th century. 3 years equaled 100 years of development. But here's the problem. Desert sand is completely useless for construction. Useless. You can't build with it. It's too smooth, too round. Over millions of years, wind has polished every grain into a sphere. Those grains don't bind together. Mix desert sand with cement, and you get weak, crumbly material that will collapse. Dubai sits in the middle of the Arabian desert, surrounded by infinite sand, some of the largest dunes on the planet. And yet, Dubai imports almost all its construction sand, from India, from Australia, from East Africa, even from Alaska, because they need angular sand, rough sand, sand shaped by water, not wind, river sand, ocean sand, sand with irregular edges that lock together like puzzle pieces. And that kind of sand doesn't exist in unlimited quantities. It's disappearing faster than nature can replace it. It takes thousands of years for a river to carry sediment from mountains to the sea. We're extracting it in days, in hours, and when legal sources run dry, the black market takes over. That's when people start dying. Imagine this. It's 2 a.m. on a coastline somewhere in Asia. A cargo ship appears off the coast. No lights, no identification, no destination listed. Within hours, massive dredgers are sucking up thousands of tons of sand from the ocean floor, loading it onto ships, loading it into trucks. By dawn, an entire beach is gone, erased. The trucks disappear, the ship vanishes, and when locals wake up, their beach has ceased to exist. No warning, no explanation. Nobody saw a thing. This isn't fiction. This is happening right now, tonight. In 70 countries around the world. The illegal sand trade is worth billions of dollars annually. It's become one of the most lucrative criminal enterprises on the planet, more profitable than many people realize, and it's invisible. Because who suspects sand? Who thinks about beach theft? Nobody. Which is exactly why it works. There are no international treaties governing sand, no global monitoring, no databases tracking shipments. It's just sand. Who cares? Except the people making fortunes care, the criminal networks care, and the people trying to stop them care, right until they're killed. When an industry is worth billions, people who ask questions become liabilities, problems that need to be eliminated. Over the past decade, dozens of people have been killed in sand-related conflicts. Journalists investigating illegal mining, environmental activists, police officers trying to stop convoys, local residents who complain too loudly, shot in their homes, run over on highways, drowned in suspicious accidents, or simply disappeared, gone, never found. And the cases? Almost never solved. Investigations go nowhere. Witnesses recant. Evidence disappears. Why? Because the people profiting from sand own the people investigating sand. Local police get paid to look away. Port authorities falsify documents. Customs officers wave trucks through. Politicians accept bribes. Judges dismiss cases. This isn't a crime ring. This is corruption that touches every level of government in dozens of countries. In some regions, sand mining licenses are worth more than gold mining permits. Political candidates campaign against illegal sand trade, then profit from it once elected. And it works because sand seems harmless. Who would kill for sand? Everyone. Everyone involved in this trade. Because sand is billions of dollars. Sand is power. Sand is the foundation of development. And the people who control sand control everything. Think of your favorite beach. Picture it. Maybe you visited as a child. Maybe you proposed there. Maybe you saw it in a movie. Now imagine finding it gone, not eroded. Gone. Just rocks and water where sand used to be. There's a 75% chance your favorite beach is dying right now. 3/4 of the world's beaches are in retreat, shrinking by meters every year. And sand mining accelerates natural erosion by up to 10 times. Beaches losing 10 meters of shoreline in a single year, sometimes overnight. But it's not just beaches. Entire islands have vanished. In Indonesia alone, more than 24 islands were completely erased in the last 20 years, dredged into nothing, gone from satellite images. Singapore has increased its land area by nearly 25% since 1960. That's over 130 square kilometers of artificial land, all created with imported sand. Sand that used to be beaches and islands in Indonesia, Cambodia, Vietnam. And the countries that sold that sand? They're watching their coastlines vanish, losing fishing grounds, experiencing worse flooding, all because they sold their sand to richer neighbors. Rivers are dying. When you dredge sand from a riverbed, you're destroying entire ecosystems. Fish can't spawn. Fish populations collapse within years. Water flows differently. Rivers become unpredictable. During dry seasons, they dry up completely. During rainy seasons, flooding becomes catastrophic. In India's Yamuna River, illegal sand mining has lowered the riverbed by 3 to 5 meters in some stretches. Bridges collapse, villages flood, wells run dry. The water becomes undrinkable. Sand mining churns up contaminated sediments, heavy metals, industrial pollutants. Communities that depended on river water suddenly find it unusable. Cities are sinking: Bangkok, Jakarta, Lagos, Venice. And while sea level rise gets attention, there's another factor. These cities are sinking because the ground is literally collapsing. Jakarta is sinking up to 25 centimeters annually in some neighborhoods. That's 10 inches per year. In a decade, some parts have dropped 2.5 meters, not from rising water, from falling land. Why? When you extract billions of tons from underground, from river systems, from coastal areas, the earth above compacts. It settles. It sinks. The Mekong Delta feeds 20 million people. It's sinking at 2 to 3 centimeters per year. By 2050, large portions could be permanently underwater. Sand extraction from the Mekong has removed so much sediment the delta can't replenish itself. Salt water is invading rice fields. Farmers are abandoning land their families cultivated for generations. And there's no solution. The damage is permanent. Coral reefs that took 10,000 years to form, destroyed in a decade. Sand dredging churns water, creates clouds of sediment. Sunlight can't penetrate. Coral needs sunlight. Block the light, the coral starves. When coral starves, it bleaches. The entire reef ecosystem collapses. In Southeast Asia, the Caribbean, the Indian Ocean, reef systems that supported communities for thousands of years have been reduced to rubble in less than 20 years. Fish leave. Commercial fishing collapses. Tourism disappears. Hotels close. Communities built around reef ecosystems are left with nothing. What's left? A dead zone. Gray rocks where colorful coral once grew. Empty water where fish once swarmed. The ocean floor scraped clean. Barren. Lifeless. We're not just running out of sand. We're destroying the planet to extract every last grain. Let's talk about who actually builds your world. Not architects or engineers. The people swinging hammers, pouring concrete, moving sand. Every year, millions of people migrate for construction work, chasing promises of good wages, better opportunities, a future. In the Gulf states, there are over 15 million migrant construction workers from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Nepal. They arrive believing recruiters who promise them $500, $600 per month. What they get is a trap. The kafala system. Employers control workers' legal status. Your passport is confiscated the moment you arrive. Without it, you can't leave. Can't go to the embassy, can't book a flight, can't escape. You can't leave your job. Your visa is tied to your employer. Quit, and you become illegal. Your employer knows this. They reduce wages and dare you to complain. You can't change jobs. Your employer must give permission. They won't. You're stuck. You can't go home. Your passport is locked away. You are owned. Most workers live in labor camps, 8 to 12 men per room. No air conditioning where temperatures exceed 45 degrees. They work 12 to 14-hour days, 6 or 7 days a week. The promised wages? Cut after recruitment fees, after housing deductions, after tool rentals. Workers promised $600 end up with $150. Maybe $200. Meanwhile, cost of living in these cities is around $1,000 per month. They can't afford to live in the cities they're building. They can't save. They can barely survive. They're trapped. Financially trapped because they owe money to recruiters. Legally trapped because employers control visas. Physically trapped with no passport, no money, nowhere to go. These workers build towers they'll never enter, create luxury they'll never experience, marble floors of five-star hotels, laid by men sleeping on concrete, men who would be escorted out by security if they tried to enter as guests, glass facades of office towers, installed by workers who've never worked in an office, never experienced air conditioning except while installing it for others. And when they die on the job, heat stroke, construction accidents, falls, electrocutions, deaths that happen daily. Thousands of migrant workers have died across Gulf states in the past decade. Most deaths are never investigated. No autopsy, no inquiry. A worker dies of heart failure at 28 after working 14 hours in 48-degree heat. Natural causes. Case closed. Their families receive a body and a bill. For repatriation, no compensation, no explanation, no justice, just a body and a bill. And construction never stops. There's always another migrant desperate enough to take the place of the one who died. An endless supply of desperate people for an endless demand for sand. They are the foundation beneath the foundation, the invisible labor that makes visible progress possible, the blood mixed into the concrete. So, where does this end? By 2030, global sand consumption will reach 60 billion tons per year. By 2060, potentially 82 billion tons. Demand is accelerating. Sand availability is decreasing. The United Nations calls this a crisis hiding in plain sight. We are facing a global sand crisis, and almost nobody is paying attention, because sand is invisible. So ordinary we can't imagine running out, until beaches are gone, rivers destroyed, concrete unaffordable, construction halted because there's no more sand. We're approaching peak sand, the moment when demand permanently exceeds sustainable supply, when extraction can't increase, when natural replenishment can't keep pace. And when that happens, resource wars, border disputes, trade restrictions, countries hoarding reserves. We've already seen it beginning. Disputes between nations over sand-rich rivers, tensions over island destruction, violence in multiple countries. Sand is becoming the next oil, a strategic resource, a commodity nations will fight over. Without sand, you can't build cities, can't construct infrastructure, can't maintain technological civilization. Countries controlling sand will have leverage. Countries depending on imports will be vulnerable. Sand will be weaponized in international negotiations. But there is hope. Alternatives are being developed. Recycled concrete. Instead of sending demolished buildings to landfills, crush and reuse the aggregate. Can replace up to 30% of virgin sand. Crushed glass. Glass is melted sand. Crush it back down, and it can partially replace sand in concrete. Desert sand treatment. Scientists are developing coatings that roughen desert grains, make them angular, make them bind. It's expensive now, but improving. If we can make desert sand usable, we unlock unlimited supplies. Manufactured sand, crushing rocks in quarries, more expensive but sustainable. Quarries can be managed, environmental impacts minimized. Some countries are acting. Netherlands banned sea sand extraction. Australia imposed strict quotas. New Zealand requires environmental assessments. The EU is drafting traceability regulations. Small steps, but steps in the right direction. But it's a race. Between innovation and collapse. Between regulation and exploitation. And right now, we're losing. Because while scientists develop alternatives, the black market keeps operating. While engineers research solutions, beaches keep disappearing. While activists raise awareness, rivers keep dying. While governments debate, workers keep suffering. While we talk about sustainability, people keep being killed. This isn't just about Dubai. This is about your home, your city, your life, Every building you've entered, every road you've traveled, every piece of infrastructure you depend on, all built with sand. Sand from somewhere. Sand with consequences you never considered. Because everything around you is built on sand, the foundation of modern life. And that foundation is crumbling. We're making a choice right now between sustainable development and unlimited extraction, between protecting ecosystems and satisfying demand, between regulating industry and letting criminal networks profit, between protecting workers and exploiting desperate people. And so far, we're choosing badly. Choosing extraction over preservation, profit over sustainability, growth over stability, short-term gain over long-term survival. We're choosing to build on blood sand. The sand in your driveway came from somewhere. The glass in your windows came from somewhere. Somewhere, a beach is smaller. Somewhere, a river is dying. Somewhere, an ecosystem collapsed. Somewhere, someone was exploited. Somewhere, someone might have died. You didn't know. Most people don't. That's how the system works. The supply chain is deliberately opaque. Origins deliberately hidden. Consequences deliberately ignored. But now you know. Now you can't unknow it. Now every building carries a different weight. Every construction project raises questions. You know sand is the most extracted resource after water. You know we use 50 billion tons per year. You know natural sand is disappearing. You know criminal networks control the trade. You know people are dying. You know ecosystems are collapsing. You know workers are being exploited. You know beaches are vanishing. You know rivers are being destroyed. You know all of this now. And knowledge is responsibility. Because sand extraction doesn't have to destroy ecosystems. Construction doesn't have to exploit workers. Development doesn't have to murder activists. Civilization doesn't have to be built on blood. These are choices. Human choices. And choices can be changed. But only if enough people care. Only if enough people pay attention. Only if enough people refuse to accept the status quo. The blood is in the sand, in every grain, in every beach, in every river, in every building. The blood of workers, the blood of activists, the blood of ecosystems. Blood sand. That's what we've built our world on, and it's running out. Both the blood and the sand. Everything runs out eventually. Every finite resource reaches its limit. We're approaching ours. Unless we change course, unless we choose differently, unless we decide some things are more important than endless growth. The sand is running out, and when it does, what will be left? What will we have built? What will we have destroyed? Blood sand. That's our legacy. Unless we change it, unless we choose a different ending. It's possible. If we choose it, if we demand it, if we make it happen. Or whether we'll just keep building, keep extracting, keep exploiting, until there's nothing left, until the sand runs out, until the blood we've spilled stains everything we've built. Blood sand. That's the choice. That's the future we're creating. And time is running out. Next time, we go deeper. Another product you use every day. Another industry built on exploitation. Vanilla. The world's most expensive spice, controlled by cartels, harvested by exploited farmers, stolen at gunpoint, creating violence in paradise. Another invisible cost, another hidden price, another truth they don't want you to know. Subscribe to uncover what they hide. Blood sand, blood vanilla, blood everything, until we decide differently. The choice is yours.